Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Local Government Gift Declarations webinar. My name is James McGovern and I'm joined this evening by Tony Brown and Lynn Fogg. In this presentation, we will discuss gifts demystified, including gift exemptions, adequate consideration, what is a notifiable and prohibited gift, gift disclosures for council members, designated employees and other employees, and WALGA advocacy for a simpler approach. For those participating in this webinar in real time on the 8th of March, there will be an opportunity to ask questions which we will endeavour to answer at the end of this presentation. If viewing a recording of this webinar at a later time, you can forward your questions to the email address shown here and again on the final slide. We also encourage you to ask any questions that you may have during the course of the webinar, and they too will be answered at the end of the session. A brief history. The Local Government Act contains numerous requirements for the disclosure of gifts. Whilst the value and circumstances of gift disclosures has changed over the years, the requirement to disclose has not. Changes to the Act and administrative regulations have sought to close loopholes and remove risks to the public perception of the integrity of local government. The most recent example is the online register for gifts over $200 that must appear on your local government's website. What is the result of these changes over time? Gift declaration obligations have become complex and difficult to navigate. We hope this presentation will help clarify the obligation of elected members and all employees to recognise and declare gifts. Gifts demystified. Everyone involved in local government, whether as a councillor or an employee, has a requirement to disclose gifts in certain circumstances. But no one has an obligation to disclose a gift if it is exempted under the Local Government Act. Let's look at those exemptions. The Act says you do not have to declare a gift from a relative. But what is a relative? Relative, as defined by the Local Government Act, means a parent, grandparent, sibling, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, or other lineal relation of yourself or your spouse or de facto partner. It also relates to the spouse or de facto partner of any of the relations listed here. Note that the definition excludes cousins. You can find the full definition of a relative in section 5.741 of the Local Government Act. So ask yourself, is the gift from a relative? If the gift is from a person who is a relative, then you can accept the gift without disclosing it. Another category of exempt gifts are those received from a prescribed organisation. These include statutory authority, government instrumentality, non-profit association for professional training, WALGA, the Australian Local Government Association, and LG professionals. So ask yourself, is the gift from one of these exempt organisations? If so, then you can accept the gift without disclosing it. Another exemption occurs when the value of a gift does not reach the declaration threshold value set in legislation. There are two types of gifts, and a gift with a value less than the prescribed amount is not required to be disclosed. The prescribed amount is $50 to $300 for a notifiable gift and over $200 for any other gift. So ask yourself, does the gift or gifts you have received from one source exceed the prescribed amount? If the answer is no, then you can accept the gift without disclosing it. However, you have the discretion to make a declaration even if it is not legally required. Here is the definition of a gift. Notice the mention of adequate consideration. This phrase influences how to value a gift. So let's look at what adequate consideration means with a couple of examples. Adequate consideration can include an equal exchange. There are many occasions when this can occur, but let's look at one example. Person A gives their lawnmower to their neighbour, person B, who gives person A a chainsaw in return. Taking the value of the lawnmower from the value of the chainsaw equals $0. Therefore, it is not a gift. Adequate consideration can include different values, but the difference in these values is the personal benefit that must be declared as a gift. Here we can see an example of an inadequate exchange in action. Person A and person B are having a meeting. Person A provides hospitality for person B, and person B hands them a couple of bottles of wine. In this example, the value of the exchange is not equal. The difference in these values is a benefit to person A and would need to be declared. When considering accepting a gift from someone, you should always consider the likelihood of the gift giver requiring what is referred to as a local government discretion. But what is a local government discretion? An activity involving a local government discretion means the activity cannot be undertaken without an authorisation from the local government or is a commercial dealing with the local government. So ask yourself, is it from a source who is or is likely to undertake an activity involving a local government discretion? If the answer is yes, this is known as a notifiable gift. You will have to disclose the gift if it is of notifiable value, which is between $50 and $300. Any notifiable gift over $300 is a prohibited gift and cannot be accepted. The following are examples of what is considered a local government discretion: development approvals, sponsorship deals, food business approvals, property hire and event permits. Keep in mind that local government discretion includes any local government decision, and you don't have to be directly involved in the decision for this to apply to you when accepting a gift. The following three pieces of legislation define what is known as a notifiable gift and what is known as a prohibited gift. They are found in the Local Government Act, the Administration Regulations and the Rules of Conduct Regulations. You can find all West Australian legislation at the State Law Publisher website. The Act and Regulations define the value of gifts that are notifiable and those which are prohibited in relation to elected members and all employees. Note that this includes multiple gifts from the same person or organisation within a 6-month period. Gifts with a value under $50 can be accepted without disclosure. Gifts with a value between $50 and $300 must be declared. Gifts with a value greater than $300 are prohibited and cannot be accepted. Gifts that are notifiable or that become notifiable by accepting another gift are required to be disclosed to the CEO. The CEO is then required to keep a register of these, which are accessible to the community as a public document. So, notifiable gifts are those received where there is an activity involving a local government discretion. But what if there is no local government discretion involved? Are these gifts as well? If the person providing the gift is not involved in a local government discretion, that means it is not a notifiable gift. However, if this gift is valued at $200 or more and is not an exempt gift, it must be declared to the CEO, and this will be put in the online register that is on your local government's website. Gifts over $200. If the gift is under $200, no disclosure is required. If the gift is over $200, where a local government discretion is absent, it must be disclosed to the CEO within 10 days of receipt of the gift, and it is placed in the online register on your website. Elected members need to be aware that when they receive a notifiable gift or any other gift greater than $200 in value, the person giving you the gift becomes a closely associated person. What this means is that any person who has given you a declarable gift and is seeking a local government decision in a matter, then you must declare either a financial or proximity interest and must withdraw from all debate and voting on that issue. This is one of the reasons WALGA recommends that you consider carefully whether to accept a gift or not. Note from this slide that WALGA has a conflict of interest e-learning course that will explain this and other conflicts of interest in greater detail. The Local Government Act and regulations states that elected members, designated employees and all other employees are required to declare gifts. But as we have seen, there are two types of gift categories, notifiable gifts and other gifts of greater value than $200. Let's look at who is required to declare what category of gift. First, let's look at the rules that apply to council members and designated employees. A council member is a councillor, president or mayor. A designated employee means a CEO, an employee who has delegated authority, an employee who is a member of a committee that includes councillors, or an employee nominated by the local government to be a designated employee. Remember too that council members and designated employees are also required to complete primary and annual returns. As a council member or designated employee, ask yourself, is the gift from a person who is or is likely to undertake an activity involving a local government discretion? If so, this is a notifiable gift. If a local government discretion is absent and the gift is over $200, this must be declared to the CEO. All local government employees are captured by their local government's Code of Conduct, which only requires the declaration of notifiable gifts. If you are not defined as a designated employee, you will not have to declare a gift that is not notifiable but is valued at more than $200. So let's recap. The most common and probably the most important category of gifts for elected members and all employees to remember are notifiable gifts. It is important that you assess whether the person giving you a gift is also someone seeking a local government discretion. If so, gifts between $50 and $300 must be declared to your CEO, and gifts over $300 cannot be accepted. When offered any gift, WALGA recommends that you carefully consider whether or not to accept it. You should always keep the following points in mind. Is it exempt, for example, from a relative? Do you obtain a benefit without adequate consideration? Is it from a person or entity who is or is likely to undertake an activity that requires a local government discretion? If A, B or C do not apply, is the gift notifiable or valued at more than $200? WALGA would agree that gift declaration provisions are currently very confusing. The Department of Local Government and Communities have established a gift working group to look at completely reviewing the gift provisions for changes following the March 2017 state election. WALGA is a participant in this working group, and the association's representatives have been advocating for the following changes. That there be only one section for declaring gifts by deleting the declarations for travel. Gift provisions only for elected members and CEOs. Other staff are to fall under the Code of Conduct from the CEO to staff. Gifts only need to be declared if above $500. There will not be any notifiable or prohibited gifts. Gifts only to be declared in respect to an elected member or CEO carrying out their role. This would exclude gifts received in a genuine personal capacity. We've already achieved exemptions for ALGA, WALGA and the LG professionals. Attendance at community events and functions provided by community groups. Attendance at government-related functions and events, local, state and federal, that are principally sponsored or organised by government. And exemptions for electoral gifts received that relate to the State and Commonwealth Electoral Acts. So councillors who are standing with the State or Federal Parliament will only need to comply with the State or Federal Electoral Act and not declare it as a local government gift, which they currently have to do. Further updates will be provided to the sector as the working group progresses. We'll now turn to some poll questions for you. Please hold the line and we'll be with you shortly. On your screen is a question. You are having a significant birthday and receive many gifts valued over $200. Which of these do you do? Declare every gift valued over $200? Only declare gifts given to you by non-relatives over $200? Don't declare any gift because they are all birthday presents. Please enter your answer on your device. The correct answer is B, and congratulations, 91% answered the question correctly. Here's our second question. A store is offering 20% discount on white goods. The salesman offers you an extra 10% off for being a counsellor. Do you accept the additional discount of 10%, refuse the additional discount of 10%, accept the discount and declare the difference as a gift? Congratulations, 100% of you answered that question correctly. The answer is both B and C. Refuse the additional discount of 10% or accept the discount and declare the difference as a gift. Our last question is, a developer appreciates the decision the council has made and offers you concert tickets valued at $350. Do you take the gift and make a gift declaration to the CEO, refuse the gift, or take the gift and make no declaration? Because the developer has received a decision from the local government, they've been in receipt of an activity involving a local government discretion. That means the $350 gift is actually a prohibited gift. So the correct answer is B, refuse the gift. And congratulations, 96% answered that correctly. So if you are an elected member and would like to learn more about your requirements under the Act to disclose interests that you have, we would highly recommend that you complete WALGA's comprehensive Conflicts of Interest e-learning course. Through a range of interactive scenarios, this course will detail the different type of gifts and interests an elected member can have, what each means for your voting and debating capacity at council and committee meetings, how to disclose interests, and what constitutes a gift or contribution to travel. WALGA considers this course to be fundamental to any elected member's understanding of their role. This is why it is part of the elected member skill set, stage 1 of the elected member learning and development pathway. We'll now move to question time. Please use the question function on this webinar to ask a question and we will try and answer them as best we can. All unanswered questions will be posted on the WALGA website and emailed out to all participants within 3 business days. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings to an end our webinar. We have got a few more questions that we will answer online, and if you have any additional questions, please don't forget to send them to the address that is showing on the screen now. Thanks once again for attending, and we look forward to your participation in future WALGA training and webinars.